What's up, everybody? It's your girl Aisha, and I'm back with another video. If it's your first time joining my channel, welcome, and if you've been rocking with me, welcome back. Excuse my voice, it's a little raspy. I'm trying to get over this sore throat and whatever else it is that I have going on, but I just wanted to come on here and talk about my celibacy story, my celibacy journey. And I just want to put like a little disclaimer out there that this is literally me just sharing my story, why I chose to be celibate, why I chose to be pure. And it's not meant to, you know, change what you're doing or how you're living your life in any way. It's not shaming, like anything like that. So I just want you guys to be mindful of that when you're commenting or if you discover this video. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. So I have been celibate for over 4 years now, and it's the best decision that I ever have made. Like, I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about, you know, people and dating and, you know, just different people that have like come into my life who are no longer in my life when I was choosing to do things outside of God. Now my last relationship is the last partner that I had, but the relationship itself is not what triggered me like, oh, I'm just gonna be celibate now or anything like that. I just started like being convicted and feeling convicted, and God will do that to you once you're constantly like growing your relationship with Him and you're asking God, how can you be better, how can you honor Him. And that was just one thing that was just so like heavy on me, like so heavy on me, especially because I was in a period of not only growing my relationship with God, but making it apparent that that's the lifestyle that I chose to live and that I wanted to live. And so it just didn't sit right with me, you know. I'm asking God, like, how can I honor you, and then wanting to live a life that's pleasing unto God and then still living like outside of Him. That was just something that personally convicted me, and as I grew closer to God, I knew that was something that I needed to draw the bounds, like just take it away, like no, like I'm no longer gonna live my life in that manner. And I can say that in the beginning it was harder, far harder than it is now. Now honestly I'm used to it. Like I don't feel like I don't go through those periods of feeling like I'm missing out or, you know, anything like that. But the main thing that held me back in the beginning from being open about my celibacy is fear. And that's crazy, but it was literally like fear, because I was that person who went through that period of being that woman who didn't want to be open about that or didn't want to present that information voluntarily just for the sake of like, okay, he may leave me, or that person may not want to talk to me no more, or, you know, that sort of thing. So I kind of like strung it along. But then if it came a time where in conversation it was proposed, or, you know, hints started to be thrown out there, that's kind of when I started like trying to shut that down. And by that time it's like, yo, like we got a good thing going, like what's up. And so I knew that was like something that I had to just start being open and honest about from the beginning. And that's why it's so important to, you know, declare what your boundaries are and stuff. And my values and my standards and my morals, everything has changed as I grew my relationship with God. And that's like the most important thing to me, is not only serving God, but being pleasing unto Him and honoring God with my body. And I just know and have so much faith that the man God has for me, that's not gonna be an issue. And I know like there's so many women who face like a similar situation or face similar struggles where, you know, they either have gotten into a relationship where they used to engage in sex or whatever, and they don't want to like turn the switch off because their partner may not be so understanding, like, well, we've been doing it, so like why stop? Because I've experienced that too. So it's like a lot of men, they'll have that mindset like, well, we've already opened this can of worms, so what's the point in stopping? Like, you've already done it. Not understanding that, well, this is something that I'm now feeling convicted about. This is how I want to go forward and live in my life for Christ and whatever else. And that just kind of shows you, like, you guys may not be on the same page, and your values have to be in alignment. Your beliefs have to be in alignment, or it won't work. As bad as it may hurt or whatever, like, you just have to really pray to God to not be wounded from that man walking out your life, because 9 times out of 10 chances are God has somebody better for you. I think it's very important and crucial to know and just have that spirit of discernment that this man who's willing to wait, he could very, very well be it. Because if he's willing to wait, not only is that's hard to come by, but at the same time, that also shows you that person has the same values as you, because they're willing to wait also. But just like walking this thing out, like, I've learned so much and learned to fill those voids or fill those gaps, with other things. Like, sometimes people like grow weary or whatever, and this is what, like, I don't want you to, turn to pornography or turn to like trying to please yourself or like stuff like that, but really just praying to God to like just build you up so that you can be stronger in that area. Because honestly, it's your flesh, and your flesh should not be overpowering your mind and your thoughts and your actions and things. Like, you have to build that strength, and you have to pray for that, because it is hard, especially if you've come from such a different path of not waiting. Like, it can be like very tough. It can be very tough in the waiting season for that person who's willing to wait for you and who's also celibate. That can be very tough as well, but the end reward is so great. Like, I see so many people who are in relationships, or people have shared with me before that they may not feel like their partner would stay with them if they weren't to still be giving it up, if they weren't giving it up. And it's something that's just so sacred, and it just makes me realize too at the same time, like, this is the value of courtship and intentional dating with people, like wanting to getting to know somebody outside of sex, outside of the touching and the feeling, whatever else. Like, all those things is so much more. It's so much more like calming, and that bond that grows because of it is just, it's a feeling that I don't think you'll ever be able to trade for sex. Like, that's a temporary feeling, so I don't know, like, it was hard, but I mean, I've been in this thing for years on end, and it's not something that I like think about it. Granted, yes, like, I'd love to be married or whatever, so I can do that or whatever, but it's not something that's like pressing on me or whatever. Like, I don't feel like I'm missing anything. And people have like thrown their little jokes or made fun or whatever else, but that doesn't bother me. Like, that doesn't bother me, because I know, like, when God blesses me with the man that he has for me, it's gonna be so worth it. Like, and I don't want y'all to have that mindset that, like, dang, like, what if it ain't good, like, once you get married, because y'all can work on that. Like, you can literally work on that. You honestly have a whole life to try out different things and build that sex drive with your partner. So, like, don't use that as an excuse if you are considering like celibacy or whatever. But in a nutshell, like, me being pure is it's just what is right. Like, it's literally like just what is right, you know. It makes me look forward to the day that I get married or whatever, because I'm just gonna feel like, you know, a virgin all over again. And that's just like a feeling that, you know, you can't trade. And, you know, just eliminating those ties. You know, if you've given yourself to somebody and then y'all don't work out, you know, you still can, the body can really make you feel like, okay, I still want to try to make it work with this person, because, like, yeah, like we're so good together. But if you've never done that, it's so much easier to walk away. And when you're reflecting back on it, it's like, I'm so thankful that I didn't. You know, depending on what the cause of what made the relationship dismantle, or, you know, if he went out and did something that hurt you or offended you or made you feel lower or less than, you'll be thankful that you didn't. And that's another thing that's important to me. But ladies, if you're watching this, like, you're so precious. Your body is a temple, like, you know, and sex is the gift of marriage. So I'm just like sharing like my story. But if you're on the fence, if you're battling that fence of waiting and being pure and being celibate or whatever, and if y'all even feel like I should do a Q&A on this, like, y'all can send me questions. Or if you just have like a personal, you know, a personal situation that you want to share with me and we can talk about it, we can connect, just send me an email or DM me on Instagram. But I didn't want this to be something that I held on to any longer, because God had really placed it on my heart so heavy for a long time. And it was just so hard for me to just like be transparent and just open up about this, because it's so personal. But yeah, I feel relieved. Like, I honestly feel relieved that I just shared this with you guys. Hopefully me opening up about my story, you know, it has impacted you. Yeah, like, you're worth the wait. Like, you're worth the wait. And that's coming from me. If you don't hear it enough, like, you are worth the wait. You don't have to compromise your, you know, your values, your relationship, what God has declared. Like, you don't have to compromise that for anybody. And that goes for men and women. So I just want to thank you guys for supporting whatever it is I choose to do with my channel. I didn't mention them in this video, but I'm going to put some scriptures down in my description box. Just in regards to purity and things. And yeah, I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.